Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Shadow and Sun. Tonight, I'm going to show you the best way to clean and strip your miniatures. I've been cleaning and stripping miniatures for over 20 years, and I've tried everything on the market from Pine Sol and Simple Green, every single citrus degreaser on the market, and I've come to the conclusion the best liquid cleaner is in fact LA's Awesome. However, there is one other addition that I've found makes the entire process a lot more manageable and a lot more profitable. I've cleaned and stripped miniatures for eBay, literally thousands of miniatures, and had nothing but success and happy customers. The other addition is this sonic cleaner. I got this a couple of years ago. It's a fantastic little gadget. You can get smaller ones, you can get bigger ones. I wouldn't go too much bigger unless you have hundreds of miniatures to clean in a hurry. Now normally, most folks would place a miniature in a glass jar, sometimes a plastic jar. I wouldn't recommend plastic. And this happens to be a recast archive fraint that I got from a buddy of mine, and I'll be doing a video on that in the near future. And normally you would just place the miniature in the liquid and leave it there for days, weeks, possibly even months. Now that isn't exactly quick, but it works. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these two little guys, we're going to pop them in the cleaner, the sonic cleaner here, and we're going to add enough LA's Awesome to completely submerge the miniatures. Got a little more here I'm going to need. That ought to do it. Put the lid on. Going to turn up the juice and see what shakes loose. Now, the noise...
That is extremely loud.
...is incredibly annoying.
So you should probably speak a bit louder.
I'm going to have to. Sorry about that, folks, but...
I can barely hear you.
That is, in fact, how you do it. Yes, it is rather annoying. You might want to leave this in your garage or somewhere where the rest of your family won't get completely...
Yeah, maybe you should.
Insane.
Maybe you should put it down so they could hear you a bit better.
Let's try that.
Because I can barely hear you.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a few minutes, roughly 10 or 15. In the meantime, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of news. This weekend, my boy will be painting the fantastic Bulbo the Eyeball. We've already started assembling it, and right now it's drying after a generous spray primering. And he will be painting that this Sunday, if all goes well. We hope you enjoy that video. I'd also like to give you a little mini update on Siege of the Citadel. I received an email from Chris and Rita over at Modifius, and they assured us they would post a comment in the previous Siege of the Citadel video letting us know what the actual update is. I'm hoping it's something real soon, but with Kickstarters and shipping from China, you never really know. In the meantime, we're going to listen to that horrific buzzing noise.
Oh God, why?
That's just the trials and tribulations of cleaning and stripping and painting and assembling miniatures. One of the things you're going to have to deal with. And at this time, I'm going to ask you to post any comments, leave a thumbs up, a like, and hopefully you will subscribe to all our future videos. We will be having more helpful tip videos, some crafting videos, some more Dungeons and Lasers videos, as well as some reviews of other games. If you guys have any suggestions on games you'd like to see us review, let us know. Anything you'd like to add?
I really wish there was not much.
Okay. Well, we have noticed that a lot of you are on private, so we can't see when you do subscribe, so we don't know who to thank when we go to our thanking of our subscribers in person in the comment section like our last video. So if you're uncomfortable with that, we get it, but it makes it harder for us to say thanks. We'd also like to thank again Archon for their absolutely wonderful results of their Kickstarter for the Dungeons & Lasers 2. We'll also be showing off our sci-fi core set and room editions in an upcoming video. That's going to take us a little time to get to. We're also going to do a separate video on the Xenogenesis lair and how we're going to paint them to make them look as creepy as possible. Why don't we take a look and see if it's made any progress?
You're stretching things, and that's... What happens if you take the lid off?
As you can see, the paint is already coming off.
Oh wow, that's...
Really is the fastest way to do it.
This is really the most important thing, but you can't see.
You can see it get down to the primer. Now I'm going to pop one of these out, drop it in some water, put this noisy beast down here. Another helpful tip I've found, right now I'm going to just do this with an electric toothbrush, but normally I would do this under running water. But you definitely want an electric toothbrush to help get the paint off. But the running water is a gentle way to get pressure and the paint removed. You see, just regular sitting water just doesn't quite cut it. But a little help from an electric toothbrush, running water, and LA's awesome. It looks like this battery's running a little dry here. You always want to check on your battery, make sure you got a full charge for your electric toothbrush. I recommend getting just whatever you can find. No need to get a expensive electric toothbrush. Let's put this one back in the goop. Pull the other one out. The red's sticking on. Sometimes some colors seem to be a little bit harder to remove. I found reds, yellows, and oranges seem to be the most difficult to remove the paint. Those colors seem to just really want to stay there. Had a little trouble with some blues. Let's put this one back for a little while longer. Now these techniques work fine with everything from old-fashioned lead miniatures, pewter, tin, what have you, plastic miniatures. Although if you're cleaning a miniature with multi-parts, be very, very careful, because I had this problem happen just the other day. Small, tiny parts, you may not see them when the LA's Awesome starts to really remove the paint. The Awesome will change colors and tend to turn whatever color paint you're using. Like if you're using red paint, the simple, what do I keep saying, simple green. The LA's Awesome will start to turn red or whatever color paint you're removing, and it might be hard to find those little parts. Last week I did a video on painting the Druid Was Right companion miniatures, and I noticed while watching the video on a larger screen that all of the miniatures turned out fuzzy. Now, I don't know if that was
the paint was a year old.
It could have been the paint. It could have been the fact that it was 100 degrees.
That also probably had a lot to do with.
And so I stripped the entire collection in Awesome with the Sonic Cleaner, and in about an hour the entire collection was back down to perfect plastic. Now, sometimes you can soften that up by leaving the miniatures in the Awesome in a glass jar for anywhere from an hour to 24 hours, but if you're really in a hurry, put it in the Sonic Cleaner. Another thing with the Sonic Cleaner, it will heat up. It has a heating setting where you can set it down to just about 0 to, I believe, close to 200 degrees if you really, for some reason want to clean something besides miniatures. If you're cleaning miniatures, I definitely recommend not only setting the temperature at 0, but also the machine itself will heat up and cause the temperature to rise. So after about 15, maybe 30 minutes of use, you're going to want to unplug the machine, let it cool down to the closest you can get to 0, and start the process all over again. If the heat gets to a certain point, I'm not sure exactly what temperature, on lead miniatures and some pewter and tin miniatures, it will actually discolor the metal. I don't know if that's actually weakening it or not, but it really doesn't look very nice, and there's nothing like painting a brand new shiny miniature, especially if it's metal. The plastic miniatures, I think you're going to need a little bit hotter for them to actually start to melt, but there's no reason to take the chance, especially if you're stripping some expensive plastic miniatures on the market. Personally, I prefer metal. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I paint a lot of old heritage miniatures, which happen to be my favorite. I've stripped Games Workshop miniatures. I've stripped recast miniatures. I've stripped every kind of miniature there is. And these techniques I'm showing you really are the absolute best techniques. Now, if you do not have a Sonic Cleaner and you just have the LA's Awesome, you're going to be looking at anything from a couple of hours before you see results to I've had miniatures sit in the goop for months, literally months. I was just working on an old Superior Models miniature, one of the 90mm pieces, and after several months there's still touches of paint, and I really
Why didn't you put them in there?
Because it's actually about $100 miniature, and I really didn't want to damage it in any way. It would have taken away from its value. As it is, a miniature like that that's been stripped isn't exactly, full market value, but, in 50, 60 years, I guarantee you people won't care. Some of the miniatures I work with are literally 40 to 50 years old, and for collectors, they of course they prefer the miniature still in the package. But, when push comes to shove, if you can't get that miniature in your collection any other way but to buy a painted one, this stripping technique will give you the best results you can possibly get without, like I said before, finding a miniature still in the package. And, eBay's great for that, but that's about all there is. Occasionally you might find something at a flea market or a garage sale or some other way of buying and selling miniatures. Personally, I haven't found anything in many years looking all over the internet to buy old miniatures, because there are a lot of miniatures I'm still looking for. If you guys have any old miniatures you want to get rid of, especially heritage miniatures, please let me know, because those are my absolute favorite line of miniatures from the old days. There's a lot of new stuff I like, but as a collector, heritage is number one.
I feel like you might want to speak a bit louder, but it is over down there, so it's not as important, but you should probably
speak louder? We'll try to speak louder. Thanks for it. Let's take another look. In the goop. That was pretty loud. As you can see, folks, The LA's Awesome has turned a really hideous color, and I can feel it is actually heating up.
Yeah, it's probably really loud here.
Starting to see some metal coming through. This may take longer than 15 minutes. I won't bore you folks if it does, but you get the idea. Now you start to see this little space there coming through. Get back in there. Leave it alone for a couple more minutes. Put this back down so you guys can hear me. The areas that touch the bottom of the bed for the cleaner will actually clean the fastest, and as you can see, it may take more than 15 minutes. When the beeper goes off, if they're not done, we'll end the video there, but as you can see, it's already taken off most of the base coat. I don't know if varnishing and clear coating will add to the time. I'm guessing it'll probably have an effect. You may actually end up cleaning the miniature. You know, it may take hours for something really, really thick paint, and especially testers paints. If you find miniatures that are covered in old testers model paint, good luck with that. Every time I find a miniature that has been painted like that, I usually just give them away or toss them. They're probably up. That's the beeper. I'm guessing it's not quite done, as you can see.
Probably isn't, but it's probably kind of close, maybe.
Let's just take a look. No, it's going to take a little bit longer to get this paint
Also,
off.
by the way, if you, a lot of the green paint is still there.
Yeah, this is going to take at least another 15 minutes, maybe longer. So what we'll do is we'll end the video here, and we'll come back in a few minutes, half hour, hour or so, and give you an update so you can see just how well this worked out. I hope these hints...
Probably only a few minutes.
If that's the case, then we'll come back and shoot another real quick video for you guys. I hope this helps. I hope you guys are able to pick one of these up. But like I said, if not, just be patient. I've spent months cleaning a single miniature, and the results are usually pretty nice. The LA's Awesome on its own will do the trick. It just takes a lot of time. The machine here speeds up the process immensely, and we picked this one up on Amazon, like I said, a couple years ago, and I use it quite often. Not every day, but when I do use it, it makes its money back in short order. So from all of us at Shadow and Sun, hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you in a little while, and if you don't catch that video, definitely come back and see us on Sunday, where the little guy is going to be painting up a storm. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great weekend. Bye.